We don't really have space for you this year. Maybe next time? That was the message I got from my own family. 2 days before Christmas, not a call, not even a proper conversation. Just a short, cold text from my cousin Lisa, the same cousin I used to share my lunch with when we were kids. They knew I was coming. I had planned everything, took time off work, booked flights, even bought expensive gifts for everyone. And now, suddenly, no space? Before I go on, if this has ever happened to you, where people you love push you away without warning, don't forget to subscribe, because this story, it's going to hit deep. I stood at the airport gate, reading the message again and again like it would change, but it didn't. They uninvited me. Just like that. I called my mom. No answer. I texted my brother. Oh yeah, I thought you knew. Lisa said it wasn't a good idea this year. Wasn't a good idea? Me being with my family, like I was some burden. And that's when I realized this wasn't just no space. This was personal. See, I wasn't like the rest of them. They all lived in the same city, hung out every weekend, gossiped about each other, but always stuck together. I moved out years ago. Built my own life, started my own company. Quietly, silently. I didn't post much, didn't show off, but maybe that's why they thought I was still the struggling one. Maybe that's why they felt okay treating me like an outsider. And they didn't know. They didn't know the business deal they were waiting on, the one they were celebrating early, was connected to me. Yeah, that $1 million real estate deal they thought was their big break. The final approval was supposed to come from the investor they were meeting next week, and that investor was me. I sat in the hotel room that night, staring at the ceiling, not because I was sad, but because I was done being quiet. All these years, I thought distance would fix things, that if I just worked hard enough, if I made something of myself, maybe they'd finally respect me. But no, they didn't just forget me, they erased me. I started remembering all the little things, how they never invited me to weddings, only sent links to the photos afterward. How my birthday was always forgotten, but theirs I still sent gifts for. How they'd laugh at my startup when I first launched it. Oh, Olivia, doing her little online thing again. Must be nice to play entrepreneur while we work real jobs. And now, they needed me, without knowing it, because I had partnered with a global investor group under a different name. And the final deal papers were literally sitting in my inbox. Guess whose project was in the pile? Lisa and her husband's real estate company. They'd been pitching for months, and I had watched it all from behind the curtain. I never planned to interfere. I wanted to keep business and family separate, but they crossed the line. They made it personal. So now I was going to do the same. The next morning, I requested a video meeting with the deal committee. I had one clause to suggest. I told them, there's one developer I don't want on this list. I've seen enough of their character to know they can't be trusted. They asked for a name. I gave it. Lisa Raymond and Co. blacklisted. Just like that. But I wasn't done. I forwarded Lisa's Christmas message to the lead investor and wrote this on top. Imagine doing business with people who treat their own family like this. Now imagine how they treat their partners. It was professional, cold clean, but it burned. 3 days later, I got a call from Lisa. Hey, Olivia? This is awkward, but do you know anything about our deal falling through? Her voice was shaky. Fake sweet. The same voice she used when she wanted something. I didn't answer right away. I let her squirm. In the silence. Then I said, oh, the $1 million deal? Yeah, I might have heard something. She went quiet. Then stuttered. We just got an email saying we've been removed from the project. Permanently. That our background didn't meet the ethics criteria. Do you know what that means? I smiled. It means the people reviewing your case saw who you really are. Wait, what? Now she was panicking. Olivia, if this is about the Christmas thing, it wasn't personal, okay? It was just, we didn't know if you'd be comfortable. It's been so long. You mean since you made fun of me at Grandpa's funeral for being the broke one? I said it calmly. Flat. No emotion, because I didn't need to yell. The truth was already loud enough. Lisa started rambling. But that was years ago. People joke. Come on, we didn't mean it like that. We love you. I even told Mom to save you a plate at dinner. I laughed. A plate? After uninviting me? After calling me a ghost behind my back for leaving the city? I paused, then delivered the final cut. You know what's funny, Lisa? The company you just got kicked out of, I own 40% of it. And guess what? The investor you pitched to? She's on my team. Silence. Pure silence. Then a weak whisper. You own the company? I said, I am the company. And hung up. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Missed calls from Mom. A dozen messages from Lisa. Even Uncle Dan, the one who once called me a waste of potential, had left a voicemail saying, "Let's talk, kiddo." This has gone too far. Too far? They were fine crossing the line when it was me left out in the cold. But now that they were losing money, suddenly it was too far. I opened the group chat, the one they always used without me, the one I had been silently watching for years just to feel something close to family. Now they were panicking. Lisa, I can't believe this is happening. Olivia, please explain. I didn't mean anything by it. Mom. Sweetheart, this is not who we are. We've always loved you. You misunderstood. Cousin Mark. She really owns the company? Someone confirm this. This can't be real. It was real. And for once, I wasn't the outsider looking in. They were the ones on the outside, begging to get back into my world. But I wasn't cruel. I didn't scream. I didn't throw insults. I didn't need to. Because the silence of rejection was louder than any words. I replied just once in that group. It's amazing how fast love shows up when someone becomes useful again. That message sat there. No one replied. Then, hours later, I got a final email from Lisa. It was long, desperate, rambling. Apologies stacked on apologies. She begged me to reconsider. And in the end, she wrote, "If you'd just come to Christmas, maybe all of this wouldn't have happened." I stared at that line for a long time. They thought my absence was the problem. Not their actions, not their exclusion. Not the years of dismissal and mockery. Just my absence. Typical. It was Christmas Eve. The city was glowing. Lights in every window, laughter spilling from homes. And me? I was in my penthouse apartment alone, but at peace. I didn't need a crowded dinner table to feel full anymore. I didn't need validation from people who only saw me as valuable when I was useful. I looked at my phone. Another message from Mom. You should have told us you were successful. Maybe things would have been different. I smiled. Not because it was funny, but because it proved they never really knew me. They thought success made me worthy, but they didn't understand. I was always worthy, even when I was broke, even when I was invisible, even when they canceled. That invitation and left me out in the cold. This wasn't revenge. This was clarity. I closed the messages, poured myself a glass of wine, and opened a new document on my laptop titled Next Project, Building Something That Can't Be Taken Away. Just then, the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door. And there stood Lisa, red-eyed, holding a small gift box. She didn't speak at first, then quietly said, "I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I came to say it anyway." She handed me the gift. I didn't open it. Instead, I looked at her and asked, "Did you come here because you're sorry? Or because you lost your deal?" She froze, tears in her eyes. "No. I came because I realized how badly we treated you, and I don't want to lose my sister again. Not for business, not for anything." For a moment, I saw the little girl I grew up with, not the selfish cousin, not the corporate fake, just Lisa. I nodded. "You lost the deal, but maybe." You can still earn back the relationship, but not tonight. I closed the door gently, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like the one left out. I felt powerful, in control, and finally free.